This is Phnom Penh, once a modern, bustling city, greater than Amsterdam or Brussels. For 4 years it stood silent, abandoned, as if in the wake of a nuclear war that spared only the buildings. And this is how I remember it. The capital of a land of plenty, of markets everywhere, a land that produced 3 annual harvests, and a variety of fruit renowned in Asia. The Chinese, in search of a superlative, used to say, as rich as Cambodia. One man above all reflected this image, Norodom Sihanouk, self-styled god-king, jazz lover, movie maker, conspirator, demagogue. Sihanouk preserved Cambodia's independence like an absurd juggler in a cockpit of war. In 1970, he was overthrown in the chaos that followed the American bombing. In the spring of 1969, American B-52s had begun the secret bombing of neutral Cambodia. These top-secret military cables, obtained under the Freedom of Information Act, were part of a cover-up that was the real beginning of Watergate. The pilots were sworn not to tell even their superiors, and their logs were falsified. The official aim of the bombing was to wipe out a Viet Cong base in Cambodia, a base that existed only in the imagination of American generals. President Nixon's aim was to show the Vietnamese communists just how tough he could be, a policy he once described as the madman theory of war. The Cambodians who died were called collateral damage, and their burning villages were called friendly fire. The Pentagon had described Cambodians as a docile and passive people who cannot be relied upon to act in a positive way for the benefit of American policies. In 1970, the United States invaded Cambodia. A member of Dr. Kissinger's staff described how the invasion was launched. Nixon had been watching his favorite movie, Patton, whose war heroics seemed to fortify his toughness. Kissinger had been dining out on stories of Nixon's drinking.
Shortly before the invasion, Nixon, who was drunk, spoke to Kissinger on the phone. He slurred, "If this doesn't work, it'll be your ass, Henry." Kissinger had once described Nixon as unfit to be president. He also called him a meatball mind. Between the two